Good morning. It's going to be a lovely day by the look of it. We're parked just down there. And there's the loch. That's the longest time we've stayed in one park up. 2 nights. It's been so peaceful. We did have neighbours last night. There was a bit of door slamming. But to be honest, it wasn't that bad. They did park a bit close. But the first thing to do today is have a cup of tea. I don't know if you'll see the bridge there that we walked over in the last video. Keith's just there now with the dogs. He's just taking them out for their first morning walk. We had 12.5 hours sleep last night. We needed it, obviously. Cup of tea and we're off for breakfast. We've decided we're having breakfast out today. You can join us for the day. See what we get up to. The first thing when we move off is that promise I made in the last video. I'm going to talk about Robert the Bruce briefly. Well, it was a clear night last night, and now the sun's just about to start peeping over the top of the hills. It's turned frosty, and I don't know whether you can see it, but on the lake, it started to mist. Let's see where I can zoom in. I don't know how good this is going to be, but we'll see. Whether you'll see it there, just starting to mist up. But, as I say, the sun's just about to start peeping over the hills there. Oh, the beauty regime.
We don't have mirrors in this van, so I have to use the...
I told him before, he said, is my hair alright? I said, it's fine. And he's just
It wasn't.
Oh, my hair's a mess.
It wasn't fine at all.
You're so gay. We're allowed to say that. On the 25th of October, 1941, Flying Officer František Hecky of number 312 Czechoslovak Squadron, RAF, crashed his Spitfire into the loch. He was on a solo training flight from RAF Heathfield near Glasgow. An eyewitness saw the plane flying low over the surface of the loch when the aircraft banked to starboard and its wingtip caught the water's surface. The aircraft broke up and sank. A salvage crew trawled the loch for several days but found neither the plane nor Hecky's body. In 1977, various sub-aqua clubs began a search of the loch, but it proved unsuccessful. Another attempt in 1982 proved more successful though, and divers found the tail and rear part of the fuselage of the plane. Further dives revealed other parts of the plane. The wreckage was recovered and moved to Dumfries and Galloway Aviation Museum, where the aircraft was slowly restored and a pair of replica wings fitted to it. And it can still be seen at the museum today. Sadly though, Hecky's remains were never found. It's very sad how many pilots were so close to airfields, landing strips, aerodromes, and didn't make it. Quite a lot to do with the terrain in different areas. Up here in Scotland, the Peak District, the hills and mountains of Wales, and they didn't have the navigational equipment that planes have got today. So somewhere out there in that loch are still the remains of František Hecky. Hopefully one day he'll be found and his family can lay his remains to rest. I think we're filming this at the wrong time of day, really, to show you, but once upon a time... No, it's not really a once upon a time story. Well, it is a real once upon a time story. On that island over there used to be a castle, and it was built by Robert the Bruce. But something magical, or not so magical, happened, and the castle moved. And now it's over there. Do you want to come and have a look with us? Okay then. And we said, haven't they got a lovely view? As is that one. As has the castle. So this is actually called Balloch Castle, also known as Loch Doon Castle. Now I had got it written down, but this says it so much better. Loch Doon Castle was built in the early 14th century on the larger island in the loch that we just showed you. In 1935-1936, when the water level was to be raised for a hydroelectric scheme, the castle's fine ashlar masonry was dismantled and re-erected here. Wall cores and later buildings were left on the partly submerged island. Despite the modest size and simple polygonal plan of the 14th century castle, its standard of masonry equals that of the largest and most elaborate of its contemporaries. Little is known of its history apart from a successful defence against an English siege in 1335. And in the information I've got, it says that Robert the Bruce built it, and in the forest there is a place called Bruce's Stone that I'm not sure we're going to get to just yet, which marks Robert the Bruce's battle where he defeated the English.
You can see it's not square, as it said, polygonal.
It's an impressive thing to do, isn't it? Dismantle it stone by stone.
Yeah. Well, it'd be tragic for it to be lost, wouldn't it?
It would. It's like all those villages you see, isn't it? All around that have been submerged after reservoirs.
Yeah.
Just have been built and then they just reappear when the levels are low. You're going to come and visit, wear your hiking boots.
Right.
We decided to come round the other way because it were a bit muddy coming round that way. It's amazing that they've rebuilt it. Every bit of it that's standing. So peaceful.
It's not a massive castle, is it?
No.
But you can see where I'd imagine the ground level was. That's obviously the hearth. And then you've got beams coming out here somewhere. Don't know whether they go all the way across because the level with to get the door, I don't know. They all go around there. There's another half there.
Yeah.
They go all the way along that wall. So whether perhaps these walls here, you don't know because they left the inner walls there, didn't they?
Yes, yeah.
So whether these are different sort of rooms, and this was the gateway to this chamber underneath, and because there's a gap on the walls for posts or beams, and then they start again there, perhaps to go in that room there.
It's a shame so much of the history is lost, isn't it?
It is. You don't know how tall it was either,
no.
to be honest.
I mean, the shape of it, I know it's polygonal or whatever it was called. It must have been quite, for a castle, quite cosy.
Yes, yeah.
Because they're big fireplaces, aren't they?
They are. It does echo.
Does it? Echo! Go, go. And who can I see through the arched doorway? So that's Loch Doon Castle. I really wanted to show you this because it's just fascinating that it was dismantled and rebuilt. It's a nicer day than when we drove over a couple of videos back, isn't it?
It is. The loch looks blue today. You can get to see a glance of it, a glimpse of it.
These must be part of the old wartime installations. I can't think what else is before. And you can see there some of the old bits of buildings that have been left over from the wartime activities here. This is where we started the other day when he was absolutely chucking it down and I raced through those boards. So let's just go and have a look at a little bit more about the wartime information. During the First World War, Loch Doon became the site of one of the first aerial gunnery schools in Europe. In 1916, construction began with over 3,000 men building accommodation, sewage works, a cinema, hangars and a firing range with a moving target railway. I bet that's what that line was back there, the moving target railway. The aim of the aerial gunnery school was to train fighter pilots in target practice. Planes took off from the loch and flew over a moving target range which ran along the eastern shores of the loch. Loch Doon was chosen for this important project because it was a remote area, the loch was large enough for landing seaplanes, and there was also an area of flat land nearby which could be used as an airfield. But by 1918 the project had been abandoned. The targets moved too slowly to provide realistic training, the airfield was impossible to drain and had to be moved to a site at Bogton, which was too far away for emergency landings. The weather was generally poor with too few days suitable for flying. The agreement for the use of the land included the restoration of the area around the loch once the project was completed. Consequently, all buildings and structures were demolished. However, the remains of the concrete piers, which we've just shown you, which supported the moving target railway, can still be seen on the eastern shore of the loch, and the foundations of some of the huts can still be seen on the western shore of the loch, looking across from the dam. especially when the water level is low. So there you go. I'm glad we managed to stop this time and tell you a bit more about that. We've just had a very nice breakfast in Dalmellington, the cafe we went to the other day, where we had a haggis roll. So we had a full Scottish breakfast.
First one of the trip.
It's the first full Scottish or fry up of the trip, and we're quite a few days in. So what was it? It was square sausage, which is a very Scottish thing, isn't it?
Yes.
A normal sausage, bacon, egg, fried egg, baked beans, potato cake type thing. I don't know what they call it. Tatty, is it? They call it, yeah, tatty cake or something. And haggis and toast. And I had a cup of tea, and you had a cup of coffee, and it came to 18 quid. And it was very nice, and you can't complain at that. And now we're on the road again, and we're off to Dumfries to finally, hopefully, hopefully, pick up an Amazon parcel.
Bit out of the way.
Yeah, we'll do a bit of zigzagging now, aren't we, really? But
We need it to do it.
for your benefit. Otherwise, we'll run out of memory on the cameras, and we can't record anything for you. The lengths we go to, eh? Nice sunny day. It's always nice to see what's going in through the solars. Oh, no, it's still enough. 62 watts. Up to 70 a couple of seconds ago. 72, 80, 3, 44, 64. Decent amount going in anyway. So we're just talking about midges in Scotland and how nasty they can be, and we're wondering how people cope with it. And I'm being educated again.
So I said, perhaps the Scots have a genetic dispensation, and the mosquito and the midges don't like them, or they just tolerate them, or whatever, or they don't get the same reaction to them. I don't know. And then saying, educating Darryl that sickle cell anemia as a trait for protection against malaria. You find that there's a band across North Africa, which is where malaria is prevalent. Also, in the same area, sickle cell anemia is prevalent. So, because just watching this road signs, making sure we're going the right way, because there's an evolutionary advantage to have sickle cell, and so that's what's the word? I can't think of the word. That's the advantage. So that trait comes out due to evolution. There you go. And that's science.
Welcome to the Education Channel with Keith. The conversations we have in this vehicle. We've arrived in Dumfries to pick up this parcel, but the plan is, we're not really sure what the plan is. The plan was to come back and do a video about Dumfries
At the end of the holiday.
at the end of the holiday, but we'll see. We'll decide when we have a coffee. But first, the parcel.